So if you are an Xbox fan, an Xbox owner, one of the games that you might have been looking forward to is none other than Redfall by Arcane Studios, one of the newest games coming out of Bethesda. And this was a game that a lot of people were looking forward to coming to Game Pass. It was one of Xbox's most anticipated titles, being one of the bigger games that we were going to get for the platform, since we haven't had a lot of big titles on the Xbox Series consoles this far. But things quickly turned sour when Redfall went to Twitter and they announced that the game is going to be dropping at only a 30 frames per second and that a 60 FPS mode will be added later via a game update. Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel once again. Please be sure to smash that like and subscribe button for all future content here on the channel. Now personally, I think that this is a horrible situation, and me personally, I do feel like this game should just be delayed at this point. The one thing that you really want to do when you're launching these games on Game Pass is you want to be able to launch the better versions. The best versions you possibly can is the versions you want to launch with on Game Pass. There's not a whole lot to choose from when it comes to first party titles on the Xbox platform. Yes, we had Hi-Fi Rush, which was a fantastic stealth drop and a really fun game. We also had games like High on Life, which was also a really surprise fun game that I enjoyed a lot. But we haven't had that big AAA experience like we see over at Nintendo or PlayStation. And I was really hoping that Redfall would be that one game where everybody looks at it like, you know what? I want to play that game. Maybe we should go get an Xbox for that game. And it just looks like that this game has continued to kind of wet the bed. And anytime there's some kind of excitement building up for this game, something happens, whether it be a delay or something in the case of this only dropping at a 30 frames per second. There's things like this that just kind of dampers the mood. And this really kind of kills any momentum that anybody would have for the game. Me personally, Redfall wasn't a game that I was super looking forward to, but as they started marketing this thing and I started seeing gameplay, I'm like, okay, I could definitely see me and my buddies playing some Redfall for a while, and I'm totally down with that. And then they announced it was only gonna drop at 30 frames per second, and I know a lot of people might be watching this video and go, what's the big deal? We've been playing at 30 frames per second for years. That is right. You're 100% right. I play games at 30 frames per second for years, but that was also on less powerful hardware. We have a next gen console. The Xbox Series X, the Xbox Series S is supposed to be next gen. We're supposed to be able to play games at their highest frame rate possible, and to play games at 30 frames per second on a next gen console, on a game that you've been making for years now, that you've been promoting, a game that have been delayed, there's a problem there. If you cannot launch this game at 60 FPS, then you delay the game until you can launch it at the way the game is supposed to be. How do you review this game? Well, hey, I want to play this game. I review it, but I'm reviewing it at 30 frames per second. I'm not going to go back and review it when it hits 60 frames per second. It doesn't make a whole lot of sense. And the fact that a game like this is dropping at 30 frames per second, it doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me personally, right? Delay the game if you have to. Wait till the 60 frames per second mode is available, then you just launch it all at once. Because what happens is a lot of people are going to download this day one on Game Pass. They're going to play the 30 FPS version of the game, and then they're going to judge the game on that alone. And months down the line, weeks, months, whenever they actually launch the 60 frames patch, people that did not enjoy it isn't gonna come back to it, and then you're only gonna have a small minority of people that are going to stay with that game throughout that 60 FPS patch, and that is not the right first impression you want to make. First impressions are very important, and if you're not dropping this game at the highest quality that this game could be dropped at, you're going to lose a lot of potential fans of this game that will not give it a second chance when the game launches at 60 frames per second with that patch. Me personally, as a fan of Xbox, I am tired of all the delays. I am tired of all these games being announced and we're not getting anything, but at the same time, I don't want a broken game. And even though 30 frames per second isn't considered broken, I still believe that this game should be delayed because it's not the best version of the game. It's It's okay if you're launching this on the Xbox One at 30 frames per second, but this is being launched on the new next gen, or now current gen, Xbox Series S and Xbox Series X. And when I fire up those consoles, I want to play my game at the highest frame rate possible. So I think that this is horrible news, and yet again another disappointment coming from the people at Xbox. And hopefully they can resolve this situation. And personally, I think they should just delay it until the 60 frames per second mode is available on day one. But that is just my thoughts. I want to know what you guys think. Be sure to leave your comments in the comment box below. Smash that like and subscribe button. And until next time, as always, I am Robert Storms, and thank you for watching.